Hello, Space Cadets, it's your old pal Vector Spaceman. We're back at it again, coming to you live once more from Harbor Station, broadcasting on all frequencies to our beautiful planet Earth. Now, whether you're watching us live or catching us after the show, don't you know we're glad to have you on board? Thanks for helping us make outer space the place to be, as we get set to rocket into another session of all the things we like to love and love to share. Now today's Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. Welcome back to the show, everybody, and if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome aboard. It's the Vector Spaceman Show. I'm your host, Vector Spaceman. It's another Wednesday art stream. We're going to finish up our latest live 2D outfit tonight, our little comical jacket that we've been working on. I keep on scaling the scope of the project back, so hopefully we can see it through to completion on tonight's show. Stick around to see the process that goes into rigging a live 2D model. If you missed the last show, we got all tricked out with some more Ollie Ollie World and its penultimate zone. Just one more to go before we can enter into Nirvana, as it were, as a verified skate wizard. The game be getting tougher and tougher, though, especially with some of those high scores to beat. I don't mind that, though. We like a little challenge here on the show. And it remains to be seen if there's still more mechanics left to introduce before the final zone. We'll have to wait and see when we return to Ollie Ollie World in the near future. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with all of our broadcasts so that you never miss a show, then be sure to follow Vector Spaceman on Twitter, YouTube, and right here on Twitch. We got a little action in the chat here. We got some Doc Sagan, we got some Dizaki. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're having a great evening. Wednesdays be terrible though, don't they? Middle of the work week. But from here on, it should be smooth sailing. We're on the back half, you guys. The weekend's ahead of us. Things can only go up from here. Alright, Space Cadets, tonight we bust out the old tablet, yet again, to put the finishing touches on our Supreme jacket, this stupid little outfit that we've been working on for the past few weeks. Now I've gone and made some preparatory adjustments off-stream, just so we can get everything done in time tonight, without having to slog through too much boring detail work. We'll still show you the whole process, though. I've just gone and taken care of some of the more tedious work, so we don't have to suffer through all of that on stream. And it's going to be our first time using layer masking within Live 2D, which thankfully doesn't look like it's going to be as challenging as I had anticipated, even more straightforward than when we were setting it up in Flash, so that's great. And once this is all done, well, we'll have a fancy new fit to rock for our 100th episode special stream, which, reminder everybody, is going to be coming up in the very near future, Saturday, March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to tune in. Going to be a fun time all around. Mark your calendars, make some time, come on out. We're going to have some great stuff in store for you. And speaking of reminders, of course, don't forget, new viewers, that we've got our sights set on new goals for the month. We're always on the lookout for new Space Cadet crew members here at Harbor Station. And we're well on our way toward our March goal of 140 Space Cadets. I even saw that we got some new members in the off hours between streams last night. I'm always interested in when that happens, why somebody would go and click and follow us when we're not even broadcasting, but we appreciate it. We're very thankful for that. For example, Hey It's Playtime is our newest, our latest, our greatest Space Cadet. And of course we got a couple others that we need to shout out as well. Thanks to everybody who'll be helping us out. So, if you like what we're putting down tonight, if you like what you see, then why not join the Space Cadets? You know it don't cost a dime, and you'll always be tuned in when the Vector Spaceman Show goes live. Alright, all of that out of the way. Oh, speaking of which, look at this. Mooney VT Cast has joined the Space Cadets. Hey there, Mooney. I hope you don't mind if I call you Mooney. Thanks for tuning in. Heck yeah, Space Cadet. Our latest and greatest Space Cadet right here, Mooney. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a great evening. Hope you've had an alright week so far. The weekend's just over the horizon. We're gonna cruise our way toward it tonight as we work on a little live 2D rigging, making some new outfits for the model here. No problemo. Well, thanks again. So, Space Cadets, with that said, let's get started with today's show, shall we? Let's chill out, kick back, relax, let Spaceman help you cruise into the back half of the week, as we gotta get all artsy up in here, doing some more work on our live 2D model. Let's head on over to the big screen, shall we? Let's put on our proper, here we go, our proper tablet hands, and we'll head on over. There we go, and let's change the backing tracks here. There we go, a little something jazzy for us. All right, now, what are we looking at here? We've got the base Spaceman body export that we tend to use. Now let's take a look here. Let me just tab over. Here's all the parts to the Supreme jacket that we've been working on. We're gonna have to scale these down so that they basically just cover over everything, because we're just gonna be using an extra layer for this secondary jacket that we're working on here. However, I am going to need to be able to see some of these, so we're just gonna put on a little background there, and okay, now we gotta scale this down proper. I imported it way too big, just so that we had some wiggle room here. And then we're actually going to need to duplicate part of this, so our only reference point here is actually a couple pieces. What are you gonna draw tonight? Well, we're still working on our Supreme jacket that we had set up over the last few weeks. Oh, you know what though? No, now that I think about it, I was about to say I forgot to re-enable the doodle redeems for the channel. But I think it's probably wiser that we keep that off for now, just so that we can get everything done here. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's start constructing here. Then we'll scale it down a little more. Now, the astute observer might notice that we've actually done something a little different here, which is we've separated the outline and inner part of some of these pieces. And that is because these pieces here, these solid color pieces, are actually going to need to be their own layer, I've found out, so that they can serve as a masking layer for our words. Because of course those are going to flow back and forth, revealing or hiding different parts of it as the model rotates, as it turns. So we needed to make sure that that all came together proper. Finish your work first, then the ladder. Yeah, that's a good idea. If we can get everything done with time to spare tonight, then we'll definitely re-enable that. If people want to get some doodles done, well, then we'll get to it. All right, but first things first, you know what we got to do? We got to start separating out all of these different pieces. So actually what we're going to do, we're going to take it all, and we're going to make ourselves a brand new file here. There we go. Give me a little background that I can work with. Something that we can see, because unfortunately, and this might be novel information for some of our newer viewers, your friendly neighborhood spaceman suffers from just a little bit of color blindness. So some things can be a little difficult for us to see here. Hey, look at this. We got some action in the chat. It's Kieran. Vector's art show is here. I'm etching to see what he does next. Etchin'. You see what he did there, you guys? Perfect puns from Kieran. Always on the pulse of modern comedy. All right, we got to start distributing these different elements to different layers. So we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to start organizing this proper. What are we going to call this? We're going to call this one... I guess this time we actually have to have a left side and a right side. We're going to call this left shoulder. I said I'd taken care of a lot of the tedious parts, but I guess that's not entirely true, because we do still have to do a lot of layer work here, so that when we import it all into Live 2D, it all works nice and proper for us. Got left pouch 1 outline. We gotta distinguish these here. And how's everybody doing tonight? How are you doing tonight, Kieran? How are you doing tonight, Dizaki? Mooney, our latest greatest space cadet. I hope you're having a fine evening. And Doc Sagan, of course. Thanks for tuning in. Left pouch 2 outline. So we'll get into a flow with things here. 3, outline, and finally... left, what would you call it? Trim. Glad to hear it, Mooney. I get what you're putting down. Alright, now these ones will label the pouches, then the arms. We don't have to worry about the arms too much, because they're not actually going to change a whole lot moving side to side. We're going to leave a lot of the illusion of motion up to the central part of the jacket itself. We're cutting some corners here, unfortunately. Usually we don't even mirror different sides of our outfits. We draw it all, we'll mirror it over and then trace over it again. But in this case, we're going to take the cheap and easy approach, just so that we can get everything done. Call this left pouch 1. Whoops. There we go. The one thing that we can't mirror, of course, though, are the 2 different arms, because the lettering has to look proper. So we did have to draw those out. Left pouch 3. Okay, and now we can start constructing this a little bit. So we need to have the outlines over top of the pouch portions, and it has to be arranged descending like this. And then, there we go, you see the outline hides some of the overflow. But we had to do this because once we get this into Live 2D, we need a layer that's going to act as a mask for the words here. You can see that the words are quite a bit larger than the pouches that they're going to be sitting on top of. But if we were to make this all just one piece, like we have with the shoulder here, instead of like we have here, what that would actually do is that it would mean that the words would bleed over top of the outline itself as well, and we don't want that. We want it to look like the arm pieces here do, where the outline is the cutoff. Thankfully, we figured that out ahead of time. So that's not gonna cost us any extra back and forth between Photoshop and Live 2D. We can get it all done, planned out. I've said it before that a big part of working with Live 2D is proper planning. Gotta know what you're doing, how stuff works, why stuff works, and how to accommodate for it. Alright, and basically, it's gonna end up looking like this. It's all stacked up. There, now it's starting to come together. You see what we're working with here? So that'll be the left side of the model. I'll wait to mirror it until I have... Actually, you know what we'll do here? This is what we'll do. We will... No, we don't want that. We will flatten everything. Whoops. Ah, shouldn't have done that. We'll take off the green layer. Then we will flatten everything. Then we will copy this as a reference into the file that we're working with right now so that we can scale things properly. We'll undo everything here, just so we don't accidentally save it that way. And now look at that, we got a 1-layer reference that we can work with. So if we were to take all these, for example. Hi, Kohaku, how are you? And oh my goodness gracious, Space Sub Boy, everybody, it's Ellie of the Nova Swarm. A certified space ace, look at that. Subscribed for 3 months, currently on a 3-month streak. Wow, 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 wow. How are you doing, Ellie? Hope you're having a great Wednesday. How's the art going? Going pretty well, pretty well. We're just doing some layer work before we import this all into Live 2D.
Wow.
After which, we'll do a little bit of rigging. And we should have everything done by the end of the stream tonight. Everybody, if you're not checking out the Nova Swarm, do yourself a favor. Go check out this fantastic 3-person virtual streaming team. Show them some love, because they're doing great work. Absolutely crushing it out there. And how are things with yous tonight, Ellie? There we go. All right, let's grab this. And let's start eyeballing how much we actually have to scale everything down. Because if we can get a percentage amount, for example, 85%, okay. Then we'll know everything over here has got to be scaled down 85%. Or to 85%, I should say. Bam. Now we'll have the same scale when stuff gets imported into Live 2D. Isn't that fine and dandy? I think. Might have to make some manual adjustments. We'll fine-tune it. Thanks for the shout-out. Hey, no problem. I just woke up because I took a nap after an early mission this morning. Your... what do you call that? Circadian rhythms, or whatever, are going to be all out of whack. But that's alright. Because now you get to tune into a little Vector Spaceman show. We're going to call this Zipper. This zipper's going to be quite a bit less involved than our current one. What would we call this? Left collar 1. And we'll call this one left collar 2. If there's one thing that I appreciate about working in Flash, it's that we can just hit one button and distribute everything to its own layer. Call this, what do we call this? Left arm upper. Left arm lower. And to be fair, there could be functions for that within Photoshop that I just don't know how to use. Oh, I guess I didn't just wake up. Woke up like 2 hours ago, but time goes by so quickly. Ain't it the truth, though? Ain't it terrible? Alright, just a few more pieces here, then we gotta mirror a couple, and we should be good to go. I probably should have gotten this portion done before we started as well, but you know what? It's kind of a good learning tool for anybody who's thinking about getting into Live 2D work as to how tedious of a process it can be sometimes. I actually saw a really, really good model live 2D work today. And just sort of a throwaway piece, almost. the way it was being described. Done by Alpine Showtime. Another lovely, lovely member of the Space Cadets here, and who I'm sure many of our regular viewers are familiar with. But Alpine Showtime had made up a sort of like papercraft live 2D model, just as a gift for some other virtual streamer. I thought it looked so rad. Right, words one. Ellie knows who I'm talking about here. Monica is using that rig right now for her birthday stream. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I thought that was such a cool look all on its own. You could make a whole, like, that could be a full-time model right there. Alright, what do we still need to get here? We've got the little North Space logo, but what else are we missing? Apparently there's something that got clipped off somewhere. So, oh, there it is. There's the culprit. A few little pixels. Alright, nobody's gonna notice you. There you go. And there we go. Hey nerd, how's the art stream? Says Hero King Soul. How you doing, Hero? Because nobody can remember your real name is Soul. How you doing, nerd? How you doing, dork? How you doing, dummy? Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're just doing a little art stream. How's the art stream going? It's going pretty well. Getting to show people how the sausage gets made. All the work that goes into live 2D rigging. Gonna have you up as my second screen. Oh, you doing some work of your own? Hero likes to do that sometimes. He'll do an art stream and he'll put up other streamers while he's doing work. Just piggybacking off of other people's content. Went right where it hurts. Yeah, that's what we do. Sick burns, that's what we're about here. Alright, we've got everything separated. Let's make sure it's all layered up nice. That goes on top of this one, like that. Lower arm goes on top of upper arm. Of course, obviously. Alright, so let's start manually scaling everything. Want to cover up certain parts of the old model. There, that should be good. And we will make some adjustments here. Whoops. Pouch 2 should be coming down with the outline. Probably by about that much. Pouch 1. You can come down as well, thank you very much. How's that looking? And you know what? Pouch 2 can actually come over here a little bit. And maybe we do the same thing with pouch 3. Okay, not bad, not bad. Now let's get the zipper up in there. Zipper goes under everything, really. That should be our lowest layer. Working right now on the stuff that we're gonna have to mirror. That's our first priority here. Kohaku, hope you got some cream for that burn. Yeah, he don't. Alright, collars go on top. There we go. that should be about right. Let's come up a bit. There we go. Maybe we even bring this one at the back down. No, because we want to cover everything up. Though at the same time, you're never going to see what goes on behind most of the collar on account of that's where our big fat head sits on top of. There we go. So that works. That works. Still feel like this should be just a teensy tiny bit bigger. Kind of like that. There we go. That's better. Pouch 1 can come up. Yeah, that's looking perfect. I might even bring pouch 2 up a little more. Back where you belong. There we go. There we go. Nice and scaled proper. Boomer move. I just like having other people up in case I go quiet, sadly. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta be wary of dead air. You know, they teach you that in broadcasting school. Gotta treat it like an old-timey radio show. Alright, we should have a new...
Wow.
A new folder here. Or actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put everything left into left side, because that's where it belongs. I thought everything in there was already in a folder, but it wasn't. Then we'll make another one called right side. And guess what goes in there? Everything on the right side. There we go. Alright, let's keep working on this here. Oh, hey, Keelix. Look at this. It's Keelix Liger, everybody. Our #1 most favorite Liger.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Oh, thanks, hero. Oh, and you know what? We should go ahead and save this before we get too far gone here. We're gonna call this Jacket Export. Don't want to lose all of our work that's happened to us before. Hero, I don't know what you're doing spamming all of our negative channel redeems here. Just because you got no comebacks of your own.
Oh, good for you!
Just because you're streaming our show on your show while you're doing your show. I mean, what's that about, really? That seems about right, doesn't it? That seems about the right size. You know what? Yeah, it's slowly coming together. How you doing, Dragon? I am going to get copyright stricken by whoever owns The Price is Right, if y'all keep this up. That seems about the right size. What's that scale at? 87%? Go, that covers everything up nice and neat. Get tromboned. I gotta find a way to fit that phrase into my day-to-day conversation. How you doing, Dragon? You having a fine Wednesday? I hope nothing but the best things are going on for you. Dagnabbit, forgot to track how big that was. Let's see. We're gonna call that 85%. So we'll make the same size adjustments here. 87. Oh, bringing some heat here. Getting things hyped, getting things lit. Hero's trying to make up for his earlier transgressions on the show here. Think we're gonna forget about that? Not likely. We're the meme redeems? The little doodles? Well, I wanted to make sure that we get everything done for the model first. But if we got time by the end of the show, time to kill, time to spare, then we'll put those back on. Doing well, nothing but the bestest for the best of you all. Isn't he considerate? Dragon Durant, everybody, check him out. He hasn't got a real Twitch channel, but you can find him over on YouTube. I didn't notice Dragon. So Dragon over here is, has been running his own, what do you call it? It's not quite Dungeons & Dragons, but it's based off of that system, those mechanics, in his own little sci-fi universe lately. I caught the first episode, but I didn't realize that you were already on to the second. And have you done the third yet? I gotta catch up. I gotta find time to revisit the Dragonverse. Whoop. Alright, here's the point where we're gonna start mirroring stuff. And here's what we're gonna do. We're making a subgroup called chest. Left chest, rather. And we're gonna fill that up with all of our chest pieces. There we go. And that is what we are going to duplicate. Bam. We're gonna move it into the right side. We're gonna call it right chest. And what are we gonna do with it? Oh, we're just gonna flip it. Flip it around just like that. Let's move that into position. Okay, so this is a little wider than we had anticipated. Might have to scale this down yet again. That's alright. Maybe we'll just scale it horizontally, because I'd like to see the zipper show up underneath. I think we're doing pretty good here. Third is this weekend. It's been good fun, but yes, a Homebrew 5e adventure in space! Space! Y'all remember when Tim Curry was in, what was that game? Was that Command and Conquer? Where he was like the Soviet general? I'm going to space! Oh, and look at this, I didn't even notice Monty, you slip into the chat here. Supreme Drip. Yes, we're gonna get this jacket done tonight and show it off here on stream. Have you announced what's happening on the 19th, was it? It was the 19th, in fact, everybody, in case you missed the earlier announcement, which we were revisiting at the top of the show here. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Come March 19th, that's Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be celebrating our 100th episode of the Vector Spaceman show. We're going to be having a fun time. What are we going to be doing? Well, I've got some ideas. And I'm going to be putting out some feelers come this weekend to see if maybe we can get some special guests and special content onto the program, because I've got some ideas of some fun stuff. What things you can expect? I'm thinking we're going to do some karaoke streaming. I'm thinking that we're going to be doing another special tier list. I've got some ideas for that. And if I can put things together, we might even have time to toss together a new original track. Another Spaceman track. We'll see about that one. That might be a hard one to get done, but if we can make it happen, we're going to go for it. How do you check how many streams you've done? Well, I just keep track. That's what I do. Bust a space rhyme, yo, 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 we make rhymes all the time. Turning on a dime, there's nothing that Spaceman can't. I was gonna say rhyme again, but you can't rhyme with rhyme because that's just lazy rhymesmanship, Spaceman. Come on. Come on. By hand in a notebook. Yo, everybody was giving me a hard time during the last karaoke stream because I was actually writing down the requests on a piece of paper so that I wouldn't forget to look up stuff for the next one. But guess what? I've still got that piece of paper. It's right here. It's not going anywhere. I can't lose it. Analog, that's right. You know, some things, they just don't fail. Oh. What's that at? 95? All right, let's hit 95. And we'll do the same thing to the left chest. Now that we're comparing it to the actual old model. There we go. That probably looks alright, I think. Yeah, we don't want too much stuff cut off. There we go. You know what could have... No, hold on. Here's what we're going to do. We're probably going to actually set this at, like, 97 or something like that. Gotta make some tiny, tiny tweaks. And we're gonna make up the difference by moving around the collar pieces at the top. That's what's throwing me off. Collar, here we go. Right collar, there we go. There. Nice and even. Perfect, and our little spaceman head will sit right on top of it. Let's give it a little preview here. Hold on a second. There we go. It'll look something like... hold on. A little something like this, once we get everything sorted out, right? Perfection, yes, yes, yes. Oh, Regal says, paperless to ensure that it never gets leaked. This is true, unless somebody makes their way up here and starts snapping some pictures. No body is perfect. Well, this body comes pretty close, sir. This body comes pretty close. Oh, wait, I see what you mean. As in no body, as in having no body. Very clever, Dragon. Almost slipped by there. Alright, here we go. Back to where we were. Ah, there we are. And I got my hands back. You almost pulled one over, Spaceman. Life goals done. Speaking of life goals, I see Manu in the chat right here. How did your Fall Guys stream go? Did you get that crown? I feel like I kind of already know the answer. But I'll be polite. Ah, Hero's wondering the same thing. Alright, that's good. Now let's work on these arms, shall we? Here's what we'll do. We'll do this. We'll do this. Bam. Get on the same plane here. I think these are actually a little too big too. But jacket arms should be a little large, right? They're meant to be puffy. But that's another 95 reduction. Try to keep things consistent here. We can always make more adjustments within Live 2D, but we want to try to get everything settled and zeroed in beforehand as much as we can. Surely we couldn't... You know what? We'll make a 97% reduction. Just don't want it to look too big. And hands will sit on top. Very good, very good. All right, let's get these in position. That leveled, all right. And that sits right on top, just like that. Very good, very good. All right. We're nearly there. We just gotta position our North Space logo Yeah, first thing we're gonna do is save, just so we don't lose everything. We hate when that happens. Okay, we actually need... I think we need words to be their own layer here, or their own group of layers here. Left side, right side. Words. Whoops. Right on top. There we go. Okay, left side words. Here we go. It may seem tedious, but this will save us a lot of time when we finally get things imported. Where's the logo and the words? And then I suppose we ought to have another folder for arms. Here we go. How do we want to set these up? Now I'm actually thinking... We'll put them under the sides for now. Left arm, right arm. We'll keep them sort of where they're at. That's going to go underneath all that. Thank you very much. Okay, let's work on these words. The logo. Whoa! Controls are all out of whack today. This logo sits on top like this. It'll rotate nice and dandy. Now this isn't going to look very good here. Check this out. I didn't scale these. That's right. That's right. Okay. We gotta bring these down, I think, to 95%. Everything should be visible. Is the ideal. But it's going to be fine because we are going to be using some masking. So I think if we bring it down to, what's this? 87%? That seems excessive. We'll see how it works. Let's put everything in its base position here. This is going to look pretty cluttered, but trust me, once we get it into live 2D, y'all are going to see what I'm talking about. In fact, we may still want to scale these down a bit, but we'll leave that for now. We're going to get everything set up in position here, and then we're going to take a quick trip over to Live 2D. Yeah, I can tell that's definitely going to have to be smaller. Or maybe not. I mean, compared to the arms, it doesn't look that much bigger. You know what, though? Words shouldn't be their own layers. They should actually be resting on top of the pouch layers within the left and right side, respectively. Alright. Let's fix that. First, let's scale these all down a little more. that's why the North Space logo looks so big, compared to how I remembered making it. Alright, that's pretty good. Compare it to... no, that's kind of small, isn't it? How about 93%? Yeah, that's much more in keeping with the other stuff we have here. Alright, because we don't want it to look too cluttered. So how about a 95% reduction? Perfect. Sorta. We're not going to be able to change this after the fact, so I really want to dial this in. I think I'm going to be happy at 94%. Alright. Leftwards 2. Let's just manually adjust these a little bit. Okie doke. The masking is going to do a lot of the hard work for us, thankfully. Okay. Let's set those to proper layers here. Hold on. Left chest. Okay, pouches. Leftward 1 goes over top of left pouch outline. Leftward 2 goes off to pouch 2 outline. And so on and so forth. Oh no, and that's right, I'm gonna have to rename everything on the right side. Alright, that'll just take a minute. Here we go, alright. Right collar 2. Right collar 1. Right shoulder. And thankfully, I know I talked earlier about maybe doing something where we could change the color of the jacket. That might be a project that comes later. Right now we just want to get a working jacket. But thankfully, since we have it in black right now, we're not going to have to worry about a lot of shading and highlighting and stuff like that, because we're really not going to notice it all that often. So we're kind of cheaping out on production value here, but we can always come back to it to make adjustments in the future, once we got the base model working proper. Oh, it's Hero. Yes, I think Hero is waiting on an answer to his question, Monayu. Did Monayu get a crown when she was playing Fall Guys? Place your bets now, everybody, but I think we all know what the real answer is. Oh, you didn't see any question anywhere? Oh, I see. Maybe I'm just seeing things. It's that old space madness taking hold of us. Okay, you guys. Let's just hide this layer. Hide the background layer. And you know what comes next? It's exporting time. Let's save this. And let's tab on over to Live 2D. Let's take a look, everybody. It's the boomer age catching up to you. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Oh, wait. You talking about me or you talking about her? Hey now. Hey now. Because if you're here to make fun of Monayu, then fine. Go for it. You know, we support this here on the channel. But if you're lipping off at on Spaceman, then hey, come on now. Them's fighting words. If a question is asked and no one is there to hear it, was there ever a question, says Dragon. Very philosophical. Obviously the answer is yes. I mean, this is pretty rote philosophy 101 garbage, but you know, we appreciate the thought that goes into it. Alright, you guys, we got to tab over to Live 2D, and look at this, we got a little Spaceman. A little Vector Spaceman. With all of his parts exposed. But isn't it nice? We can manually control our Spaceman. We can tilt him side to side. We can make him do a little wink. Hey, look at that. Can't do that with a model. Actually, technically we could. We could enable like a winking function. But with the face tracking that I use here, I just have it set to blink at the same time. Just because I found having the single eye tracking was always sort of hit or miss. I'd be winking inconsistently. Oh, hey, check it out, everybody. Hey, it's playtime. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. Hey, hey. Hey, a little emote there, a little Spaceman emote. It's one of our latest and greatest Space Cadets, you guys. Hey, it's playtime. Who I had noticed before the stream started. Had gone and given us a follow in the off hours between streams. Thanks so much for that. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Hope you've been having a great week altogether. Oh, you can with the last update? Can what with the last update? Do winking and stuff? I could do winking beforehand. It was just always super inconsistent, so I just disabled that feature. Oh, I go by Playtime? But yeah, I found you on Twitter. That seems to be where most people find us, is over on Twitter. We don't have much in the way of social media presence, but we do like to post dumb stuff over there from time to time. But hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, what did I need here? What did I need here? Let's reset everything. Oh, Manu says, I mean easily create a wink emote, then just do a hotkey. Oh, I see. Like any of our other parameters here, yes, technically we could do that. We could, instead of pulling up the tablet, or our popcorn bucket, or our headless no body pose, or the microphone, yeah, we could do something that just translates one of the eyes to a bam, like that. So we could have an instant controllable wink. Something to consider. It does give us a little extra character, a little extra charm. The fact I don't need Live 2D for that is a blessing in my life. Does your model do that as well? Just with the face tracking? I can't recall. See, I usually notice when people have single eye tracking enabled or disabled, because half the time the eyes will be going all wonky. But I've never noticed a whole lot of glitchiness watching Manu stream, so maybe it's just passed me by. My eyes ain't that wonky. Not that wonky, you guys. Not that wonky. I hear you can do it directly in VTS now. Talking about parameters and stuff like that. That is what I've heard as well. Or rather, it's not... It's the expressions. The expressions is what they call it. So these parameters still have to be set up in Live 2D, but instead of going through the rigmarole of assigning those parameters to specific expressions within the Live 2D viewer, which is a kind of weird way to go about it, I think now you can do it within VStudio or whatever you use. VTube Studio. Yeah. Alright guys, so here's the process. We've got our export files set up. What do? We just drag it and drop it into our production file here. Jacket, export, drag it, drop it. It'll do its thing, it'll load. And we are going to add this new file to our current Spaceman production model. We're going to hit OK. And we are going to, yes, add all layers as new art mesh. And there we go. We've got our derpy little jacket. Playtime says, I love your avatar and voice. Well, thank you so much. You know, we get complimented all the time on our avatar and voice. It's starting to give us a complex, you guys. I don't know if we can handle it. I don't know if we're ready for this. Bop it, slap it, shoot it, twist it. Thanks, Zero. Alright, now comes the next tedious part. Because we have to add all of these parts to existing, what are they called? Meshes, or warp deformers. That's what they're called. Yeah. Trying to get all these terms figured out. But the first thing we've got to do is edit the texture atlas. So here we go. We got to drag and drop everything into our existing texture atlas. We've got one for the helmet, we've got one for our body pieces. So we have to drop these all in here. You can see we've got our regular base model, we've got our Rocket League model, we've got all our hand pieces. Now we're going to add the jacket pieces. Dragon's taken off, take it easy, everyone. Likewise, Dragon, you have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, so what we got to do here, we just got to click it. Oh, where did it go? And drag it into its own little cancel, undo, there we go. Drag it into its own little space somewhere on the texture atlas. So this can take a minute as well. Basically, we're just setting up like UV mapping if you've ever done any 3D model work. Very similar process. Let's get all the words out of the way. The next one. Here we go. That's all of that. Alright, pouch pieces. Even though these are technically mirrored, which is not a practice that we generally do, but we decided to go for this model just to make things a little easier on us. To make things a little quicker on us, since we've been working on this for almost 3 weeks now on our Wednesday art streams. And I really wanted to get everything done tonight. Oh, whoops. Cancel. There's one thing I don't love about working with Live 2D, it's some of the interface here. The selection tools can be a little iffy sometimes. Okay, arm pieces. Actually running out of space here. And the last piece, the zipper, because of course our reference layer and background layer are not actually going to become part. Of the scene. And we'll say OK. And that'll just work its little business there. And what the texture atlas does is it tells the different pieces of the model what to look like, where to look like, and when. If that explains how it works at all. Now what we need to do is open up, here we go, delete these two because we don't need them at all. Now all these pieces here, down in the deformer hierarchy, need to be assigned to proper warp deformers. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to layer it on top of our existing Spaceman jacket. Yeah, totally got that. Maniu's out here taking notes. Not on a piece of paper though, because that's too technical. I read what you had posted the other day about opening up Live 2D for 15 minutes or something like that. Getting confused and shutting it down. But you know what? At least you're trying. At least you're doing your best. So let's find the collar group, for example. And basically, I want to try to... I'm not sure if it's going to work, but some of these pieces I would like to piggyback off of the pre-existing animation for. I think we can get away with it for the arm pieces since they're static. Maybe we can make it work for the... No, you know what? We can't make it work for the collars because they're just two pieces, whereas our existing collar is like 6 different pieces. So we can probably just make it work for the arms. And then the new jacket pieces are going to have to be their own deformer. Alright. Like I've said before, you gotta come into this with a plan of attack. So let's see if we can't make this work. Here's what we're gonna do. Warp deformer for left collar. We're gonna call this jacket left collar. Okay, that's its own thing. Perfect. Where's the right ones? Right collar, here we go. Jacket, right collar. Oh, and you know what? Before we get too far into this, we should be... selecting all of this. We should be generating mesh. Go. Especially for the words, because those are going to have to warp and deform quite a bit. Standard generation, here we go. It's always something I almost forget about, is the mesh generation. Okay, we should be good to continue. What do we need? We need... Here's the real question. Can we subdivide these into their own things? We can, can't we? Collar... is that 2? So that's a foreground. Good, and we'll call this one This is going to be a hassle. All right, jacket. But I'm glad that we're actually taking the time to name everything properly, because I don't know if you've noticed, some of our very early work on the Spaceman model was just sort of Deformer 1, Deformer 2, Deformer 3. Hard to keep track of everything. We'll call it back. We'll call it apt. There we go. And that's the one in the, yes, background. Okay. Okay, so that's jacket left collar. Jacket right collar, same procedure. What a hassle. Okay, collar's done. The real tricky part is going to be all these words and such. But you know what is cool? And here, I'm going to show you what I mean about how easy the masking is on this. So let's take left words 1, for example. Now in the inspector here, we can see that every different piece has a name, an ID. It's also got something called a clipping ID. And the clipping ID is what works as our masking layer. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take, what is it going to be? Left pouch 1. Just going to copy that into the clipping ID of left words 1, and that is going to, yes, thank you. That is going to shut out everything that isn't, oh, geez Louise. Yeah, we messed up. We messed up slightly. But you can see that it shuts out everything that is not the pouch piece. I should have known that was going to be an issue. I should have just kept the pouch piece. See, here's what I did. Let's tab back to Photoshop here. Here's what I did. I made the pouch pieces slightly thicker than the outline pieces because I wanted to give it a little bit of wiggle room. But of course, that's not going to work in the long run because that's going to cause the wording to bleed out over the outline a little bit. I should have known that was gonna happen. All right, well, we're not gonna bother redoing that because at the very least we do still have, where are we here? We do still have some outline separating the wording from empty space, as it were. So you know what? That's not even half bad because we almost get the effect that it's kind of wrapping around the piece itself. Staring, are you learning something from our mistakes here, Manu? That's actually not gonna be the most difficult thing to fix. If I wanted to go back. But it would take too much time to do on stream tonight, so we're gonna leave it for now. We're gonna make a functional jacket. And then we'll worry about quick fixes later down the line. I have pretty much no idea what's going on. Well, here's what I'm saying here. So, I'll pull out this piece. This is the left pouch. Or you know what? It's easier to see in Photoshop. The layering that we have here, we have the words on top of these different pouch pieces. The pouch pieces are separated from the outlines, which are around them, as you can see. We can sort of pull that out. It's hard to see because everything's gray. But I made mine just a little thicker because I wanted to make sure that when we're animating it, if I wanted to have them sort of contort and bend, but I should have known ahead of time that I could just stick the outline and the pouch piece in the same warp deformer, and then I'd never have to worry about the fact that they were basically butting right up against each other if I had just kept the black and the gray separate. So because I've made this a little thicker, now that I'm using it as a masking layer in Live 2D, you can see that the boundaries of the words here are actually coming a little bit on top of the outline layer. And that is because that's how far the pouch piece underneath extends. So I should have just kept it right up to the very edge of the outline layer, is what I should have done. Again, that's not something that's going to be super hard to fix, but we're not going to worry about it tonight. What we are going to do is we're going to keep on applying masking layers here, or clipping IDs as they like to call it, and we can see how it's all starting to come together. And now I will show you what this means for us once I get this one properly put in. Now this means that if ever we want to move around these words, you'll only ever see what shows up within the bounds of that clipping ID or that masking layer. So that makes it very easy for us to simulate motion when we move left and right, because we're going to stretch out parts of these pouches to go to the right and go to the left, so the words can follow along with it, and as it moves, it reveals or it hides certain parts of the lettering. Make it feel like it's rotating around the body in motion. All about simulating a sense of 3D motion. That's what Live 2D is all about. That's how we do it. That's how the sausage gets made, as it were. Let's go ahead and save for good measure. And let's keep right on. Oh, wait, what did I just do? Undo, undo. Ah, I was applying it to the outline. That's no good. Right words. 1. Here we go. That's what we want. Right pouch 2. Copy that. Into right words 2. Just like that. Into right pouch 3. Into right words 3. Just like that. Bam. All right, now everything's looking a little less cluttered at least. And if we had it popped up right against the outlines themselves, then it would look absolutely stunning, absolutely perfect. But you know what? It doesn't look the worst the way that it is right now anyway. So we shall deal with it. Looks great, bruh. Thanks, bruh. All right, let me just pull everything off of our existing model here. Hold on. Ah. Where is the center? There we go. Ah! Why do I only have so many things selected? Here we go. Trying to find the center of... Yeah, there we go. Ah! Why isn't it grabbing? Oh, that's why. Is that everything? That's everything. All right, we're just going to move it off the main model for now so we can work on it a little more clearly. We're going to remember to save, because if we were to lose everything at this point, we'd probably lose it. All right, now we got to work on the chest pieces, because these are going to be the most important. The arms, we can basically piggyback animation off of the existing arms, like we tend to do pretty often anyways. I'd cry. Once we actually get everything rigged up animating it isn't actually that bad. The sort of limited rotation that we have on the model here, it's not that hard to set up. So how do we want to do this? We want to turn each pouch portion or shoulder portion into its own thing. But no, we'll do that. And then the zipper's got to stay its own thing. Okay. Zipper, you get to have your own warp deformer. We're going to call you Jacket Zipper. Left shoulder, you're on your own. Right shoulder, likewise. Okay, now. These three pieces here are going to become one. We're going to call this jacket left pouch 1. Likewise with these, left, 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 pouch 2. And then we're going to create an extra, what do you call it? Warp deformer for the words themselves, because they are going to have to rotate independent of the stretching that's going to go on with the pouch pieces. That's how we're going to do it. Like I said before, come with a plan of attack. And even if you do, you may still run into problems. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We already put one in the right shoulder. Jacket, right, pouch, 1. I'm just noticing now, but I can't just like hit enter to finalize some of these actions. That eats up a lot of time when you think about it. Gotta have to click create every single time. Jacket, right, pouch, 2. And jacket, right, pouch 3. Trim are going to be their own layers. Jacket, left trim. Jacket, right trim. Whew, alright. Is that everything? No, we still got the arms and the logo piece. Okay, logo's going to be on its own. And we gotta do another one for each one of these word pieces. Let's go. Very tedious. Maybe I should have gotten all this done off stream. But if I had, we wouldn't have learned so many lessons here tonight. Left words 3. Right. It's an educational program, you guys. Follow along at home, working on your own scuffy little live 2D outfits. I'll become the Bob Ross of live 2D. Just real quick, easy live 2D models. jacket rightwards 3, and that should be everything that we need, barring arms. But I'm not going to worry about arms right now. We're going to worry about the chest. Okay, so all of this stuff is stacked up basically on top of our hierarchy. We're actually going to want to move it down a bit. We got all this jacket stuff here. So let's minimize all this so I can actually read the hierarchy here. We want an extra... warp deformer as a parent of all of these called jacket, because we want to assign a jacket parameter to this parent warp deformer, because as you guys know, or as those who have been watching these art streams in the past know, we need to set up parameters that will control the opacity of all these pieces, and it's a lot easier to do that if you have a big group that controls everything. So we're not going to do that with the arms, but we are going to do that with everything else. Because the arms we can slip into existing layers. To piggyback off the animation, we'll just have to create a couple more warp deformers to control their opacity from within those groups. That's fine. That's no problem. So we're going to call this jacket chest. And you know what? While we're at it, we may as well go ahead and make that parameter. So we're going to call this parameter jacket. We're going to give it the ID jacket. It's going to have a minimum value of 0. It's going to have a maximum value of 1, because this is just going to be a Boolean switch, basically. It's either on or it's off. Its default is set to off. We're going to move that down with our other fashion parameters. We'll put that right under the Rocket League jersey. How's about that? Alright, so we're going to select the jacket chest warp deformer here in the hierarchy. We're going to double click on this parameter, and we're going to assign 2 values to it. One value at 0, one value at 1. We're going to hit OK. Now you can see that these keyframes have lit up. That means that they're registering keyframes, basically. Which is to say they're measuring states that the group should be in at either one of these positions. So at 0 or at 1, something's supposed to happen. So at 0, we've got everything set the way... Oh, we don't have everything set the way that we want, actually. At 0, we want the opacity of this whole group to be 0. So we zeroed out just like that, and you'll see as we transition toward 1, everything reappears because the opacity is now 100. So the default state is off. The on state is, of course, on. And so eventually we'll assign a hotkey that toggles between the two so that we can pull it up whenever we like on top of our existing model here. Alright, so right now we're going to work with everything at jacket parameter 1. Alright, let's get started here. So we're going to drag the jacket over, but as you can see it's on top of everything. We actually need to bring it down quite a bit in the hierarchy here. So let's move jacket down below. Let's see, where is our head? Shirt, zipper, collar. So basically we want it on top of everything, on top of the scarf here. Our winter scarf. We just drag everything down on top of that. The jacket group, that is. Right here. Oh, okay, so this becomes part of the head isolate group. JHW. Why can we not move these around freely? I've always hated this. The way that they separate the warp transformer hierarchy from the actual piece hierarchy. So you can see we can put everything over here. Everything's way on top because everything is way up top in the part hierarchy. So we actually have to move all of this down. Where are we going to put it? Basically right here over top of the scarf. I think that's where we want everything here. Jacket, export, pieces. Let's go over top of scarf. And that should conceivably fix our issue. Let's find out. Jacket, chest group. If we drag this over now. Nope, still not working. It's behind some pieces, but not all pieces. This could be an issue of... what are they called? Let's just move that back for a sec here. Everything has a draw order value, which changes its, how do you say, its rendering priority on the visual stack, as it were. It is really not a great setup that we have here. It's useful for some things, also very frustrating for other things. And also, I think that I've progressively made everything more and more difficult for me to work with all the different outfit pieces that we've added over the months. I know, it's the worst. Body export jacket. Alright, so let's figure out what we are overlapping here. We are under the nose, but we are not under the head. Why is that? So let's select the head here. The face base, I see, has a draw order value of 300. So this could be part of what is giving us issue. Let's just do a quick test here. If we were to select everything within the jacket export group and assign it a value of 250, a draw order of 250, could we then, or here we go. Would it then, nope, still having a problem there. Why is that? Because we've only assigned that to the jacket export group, which has nothing in it technically. We'll do a quick test. Here's what we'll do. The North Space logo is still above the base there. We can see that. If we change that value... where did it go? Logo, here we go. If we change that draw order value to 250... we can see it dips below the jacket, even though it's higher on the hierarchy here. Okay. So here's what we're going to do then. Show me... okay, scarf has a value of 250. So I've made this sort of error before. And that's how I fixed it before. Okay. Alright, will that change everything inside it? It will not. Okay, so what we have to do is select every single little piece. How tedious. And change those draw orders all to 250. Is that going to cause flipping issues with the base chest? Possibly. We'll find out in short order. The zipper has to be changed as well. Here we go. So anything with the same draw order will then default to taking hierarchy into consideration. Which is just a bizarre way to do it, but alright. We'll deal with it. And now, hey, look at that. Everything shows up behind like it should, except that the collar is still on top. So what is the collar's draw order at? Collar pieces, collar pieces. Let's see. Stop bumping me back up here. Alright. Collar pieces have a draw order of 500. Okay. You got this? Oh, I'm hoping so. So can we change collar pieces? They're at 300. Can we change these to 250 without causing any issue? Looks like it. Alright. Bam, there we go. At which point, I mean, I really should just have everything the same draw order value and then rely upon the visual hierarchy here. I don't know why we started making these changes in the first place. But okay. Jacket export. Show me jacket chest. Now when we drag it over, it should be, yes, on top of everything, on top of the zipper. Perfect. But oh no. Oh no. What happens if we start moving around at all? Okay, no, we're still good. Whew. Thank goodness. For a second there I was... Oh, you son of a gun! Look at this, look at this. It is tracking... movement. That is not what we wanted. This is no good. Alright, so we are going to remove these keyframes for now. That will be the last thing that we apply. Once we get everything in position where we like it. Oh, you get one thing, one problem solved, another one rears its head. Alright, movement is fine. Show me what happens if we turn on holiday. We're still on top of the scarf. Show me what happens if we move like that. Alright, we're still good. Trying to remember all of the different conflicting parameters that we have here. Okay, so let's center this up. That looks about right. Now it's time for animation. Let's do this. Alright, let me take a quick drink of water here and save. There we go. Delicious space water. Alright. So, as longtime viewers of the channel will know, our animation is all basically 30 frames of horizontal and vertical movement. This is how it's set up here. We've got our angle X, which controls left to right motion. We've got our angle Y, which controls up and down motion. We've got our angle Z, which controls just bobbing on the head. So with all of the warp deformers that we have set up right now, it's time to start simulating motion. We're going to use the zipper as our guide, because that should be the center of our body. So let's select everything that's actually going to be moving here, which is the collar fore and collar aft, and the shoulders, and the 3 pouches on each side. Oop. and the words within those pouches. They need to have keyframes as well. And the trim pieces. Oh, why am I missing a piece here? Left collar 2, left collar 1. Right collar 2. Right collar 1. This should be in right collar 4. There we go. Almost made a mistake there. Let's actually just double check everything else. I think that should be alright. So zipper, trim, words, pouches, words, pouches, words, pouches, shoulders, collar pieces, trim, word pouch, words, pouches, words, and the pouches, shoulder pieces, 2 collar pieces, and the logo. That's everything that has to move. Will we go left to right and up and down? So let's start with just horizontal motion. So we're going to double click on our angle X, and to all of these different groups we are going to apply a value of -30, 0, and 30, which is to represent the maximal left, center, and right rotational values. And we're going to hit OK. Now, default is at 0. When we move to the left, what's going to happen? Well, the collar is going to follow with it, the zipper is going to follow with it, and then we're going to have to squeeze these different pouch pieces and shoulder pieces to follow along with the rotation. So we'll use our existing head motion as a guide, and our existing, what do you call it? Jumpsuit, our existing outfit underneath. We'll basically copy how far it goes. Let's see here. So let's grab the zipper, for example. And we're just going to drag it to the side here, to about here. And now you will see that when we move from center to left, it moves a little bit. And if we do the same thing on the right value here, if we move it just a little bit to the right, to about here, then when we move left to right like that, it follows along. Easy as that. And this is, remember, we're selecting the warp deformers here, not the actual pieces themselves, but the warp deformers. That is an important distinction to make. You can easily get yourself tripped up if you're grabbing from up here, or the pieces that the warp controllers are controlling. It can be a hassle. All right, let's undo that because we actually want to... Oh, let's redo that. Sorry. There we go. All right, we've got a fresh slate to work with here. Okay, could we actually... I'm going to regret this, I'm sure, at some point, but... Well, you know what? No, because it doesn't have any parameters assigned to it. Let's just... Yeah. Make that slightly opaque so that we can see through it while we're working with it. All right, now show me the zipper. Where are you? Here we go. So to the left, we're going to follow our existing zipper. That's got to be hard to see on everybody's screen at home. And we are also going to apply just a little bit of warping here, as if to suggest that the thing is bending around the chest, because of course it is. You can see how that looks here. Bring the opacity back. See, there's a little bit of a suggestion of curvature to it. Whoops. All right, and select the zipper again. Shouldn't have made everything gray. This is going to make things difficult to observe. All right, we go back to the other side. Just skew that a bit, thank you. What's what here? There we go. Select our zipper. And we want it about here. drag you like this. Oh. There we go. And up top, same deal. Same idea. Okay, and basically we're going to have to do that for every single group here. But now that we got this zipper, we can use that as a guide. So let's pop everything back up to 100. You can see back and forth, just like that, we got something to follow along with. So let's work on the left side, first and foremost. Shoulders are easy to do. Let's work on shoulders. So the shoulder is actually just going to warp. Along the path of the zipper. Just like that. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth, just like that. Which of course means that the right shoulder is going to have to follow along with it. Come on, let me select things proper, please and thank you. Without having to scroll through everything. Here we go. So we skew everything, follow along like that. Pop it a little bit like that. Not just like that, see. And now, bam, look at that. Reveals a little more. You might actually want to tighten that up. And what a lovely evening for copyright-free jazz. There we go, there we go. Eek got a lurk, but I'll be peeking in. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, Montague. Hope you learned something here tonight. All right, very good, very good. And we're going to have the North Space logo follow along with it once we get the rest of this sorted out. Having these in 6 different segments, these pouches, is what's really going to take up a lot of our time. Okay, right pouch. Left pouch is what we need, actually. Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. Okay, hold on now. No, that's okay. We can still make that work. All right. I was worried for a second there. Then the words themselves are their own layer. They're going to move like this a little bit. Maybe tweak it a little bit like this. That doesn't look great right now, but that's because it's the only thing moving. Let's work on the next pouch here. All right. And the words can scooch over just a little bit. Okay, okay. And when we see this coming the other way, it's going to look pretty good. Pouch 3, as we were. I'll try to remember at least 0.01%. That's a spirit. Go, there we go. All right, it's starting to come together here. Now for the right side. Right pouches, here we go. Now we don't actually want the wording to be so big. Here's what we want. It's for the wording to reveal a little more of itself. See that? We're rotating around the body. That would look even better if we had actually gotten the limits on the outline lined up correctly. But that's all right. Like I said before, fairly quick fix that we can get done later. Not bad, not bad. So that rotation is actually going to be more subtle than I had originally thought, but we're going to appreciate it in the long run here. Especially ones like that. Down near the bottom. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Nice spin. Okay, trim pieces won't take but a minute. Where's my left trim piece? Here we go. Right trim, where you at? Here we go. Now that most of our viewers are gone, we're getting into the late evening here. Working on live 2D stuff really is pretty relaxing. That exposes a little more than I had anticipated. I think it's because we haven't moved the zipper entirely the way that I'd like. Let's see. There we go. I wanted to stay sort of central along the whole length of it. Now, here's an interesting technique that we're going to be able to show off is the mirrored animation. Wonder if we can make that work. Hold on, I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute here. I think I'm just going to tighten up the gap between these trim pieces first. Which means tightening up pouch 3. There we go. There we go. That's a little more natural. Yes, yes, I like that. I like that. There we go. Okay, North Space logo is what comes next. That stays central. Where's logo at? Logo. And what would happen there? If you're turning from this side, then bigger. This might get a little smaller technically, but you wouldn't really perceive it. We could rotate it just like that. There we go, there we go. It goes back like that, perfect. Hero says, I'm still Hero, that's right. You still doing your stream as well, Hero? Let us know. Just two dudes doing art streams on a Wednesday evening. You know what, I think this shoulder is popping down a little too much. Right shoulder, where are you at? There we go. That's better. That's better. Yeah, just finished the sketch. Nice, nice. That's right, I completely forgot that Hero's been watching us the whole time. On his screen, on his stream. Everybody, if you're not already checking out the Hero King Soul, do yourselves a favor. Go say hello. Show him some love. Alright, now let's work on these collars. Right fore and aft. Whoops. There we go. Bring it on over like that. And we're going to want the fore collar to move a little extra. Just a little. No, just the one. Just the one, thank you. Is it? Hold on. Why is it controlling both of them here? Oh no! It's set up as a what do you call it? As a child. Can we undo that somehow, please and thank you? Maybe not. Maybe we're just gonna have to let it move independent. Or as a group, rather. Maybe we can't get it to move independent. Did we mess that up? I'm thinking that we did. Oh wait, here's what we do. We do that. Wait. No. We do that? No, we do that. Yes, now we got it. Now... Okay, clearly we named the pieces wrong, but that's alright. We get the same function that we want out of it. That's the important part. Okay. Okay, dokay. Piece moves over just ever so slightly, just like that. And now, look at that, nice collar movement. All right. One piece disappears into the other almost. Loving that, loving that. Now for the fun part. Here's what we do. We save, just so we don't lose anything. Okay, now how did we do this before? Let's start with the collar pieces, for example. No, wait, that's not going to work, is it? Is it? Let's find out. Let's find out. We want to hit reflect emotion. Here's what we want to do. Set it to -30. Hit reflect motion. Reflect horizontally. Bam. Okay, no, we are getting it to work. Alright, it's taking care of some of that for us. Where's the other collar? Right collars. Can we reflect in the motion, please and thank you? Look at that. Okay, that actually kind of messes us up. Because we shouldn't have this piece popping out. Alright, so we do have to manually tweak this just a little bit here. But it saves us some busy work at least. Left collar, where you at? Foreground collar. There we go. And now we've got nice rotating collars that move with the head, sorta. I feel like this should actually be rotating quite a bit more. Given what we're seeing here. Indeed. Alright, save that. Quick stretch. Ugh. Pop those knuckles. Alright, time to work on more pouches. Let's see. Shoulder, can we reflect some motion here? Hold on, what did we just do? Shoulder. Reflect motion. Horizontal. Okay. No, because now it's starting to pull away from the other side. Alright, so it's not going to work for us here. We're going to have to manually do pretty much all of this, I think. Alright, so let's start on the right side here. We'll breeze through this real quick. Pouches, here we go. I like this track. Sort of hula-esque. See the full rotation from left to right. Which still seems kind of minimal on the whole, but we'll see, we'll see. And now for the left side. Left side, shoulder to start with. Don't worry about the wording afterward here. starting to feel like we're gonna have to dramatically exaggerate some of this motion. Here we go. Center to the right. Yeah, like you hardly see any movement on this side right now. Thanks for shouting me out, nerd. Hey, no problem, Hero. Okay, much more motion on this side. You did the same just now? Well, thanks so much, my man. Boy, that hero may be a huge nerd. Total dork. But he's a pretty cool guy. Alright, now when we come this way, let's work on these words, because the words are really what sell it here. My chat said you had a calming voice. Man, everybody be saying that. It's giving us a complex over here. But you tell your chat, thanks, hero. And you tell them that if they ever want to see how a real cool spaceman does some space art, you send it my way. Oh, speaking of which, maybe we just gotta... How you doing, Miki Ukane, or Okane? Our latest and greatest Space Cadet. Check this out, everybody. They can hear you. How about you sing a Johnny Cash song? No, it ain't a karaoke stream night, hero. You know we'd be saving that for the special events. But speaking of special events, everybody over on Hero's channel who's listening in at the moment, you know we're going to be celebrating our 100th episode in the coming weeks. That's going to be March 19th, Saturday, March 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in for that. We're going to be doing some sing-songs. Maybe we'll sing some Johnny Cash for Hero, because I know he's such a big fan. The Hero King Soul. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. Having some guests on, I'm hoping. Doing some special content. Rip-roaring good time. 100 indeed, Banana Soy Milk. First time in the chat. How do you do? That's right. That's right. It's our 5th month of streaming here on the channel, and we've already hit our 100th episode, or we will hit our 100th episode. Come, what is it? Not next weekend, but the weekend after. That's March 19th, everybody. Don't miss it. Mark your calendars. I'm listening from Hero's stream, yep. See, this is great publicity. We should just have Hero have us on his stream all the time. Alright, and the other side we want to... bring over a bit. Still looking like we need to exaggerate this a little bit more. Alright, left side words, let's go. Impact a bit and drag it over. Just like that, just like that. Sure, piggyback off of you. Spaceman's gotta do what a spaceman's gotta do. Okay, there we go. That's gonna look a little better. Now that we see the words rotating with us, you'd almost think we had some illusion of motion going on here. Alright, North Face logo, or North Space logo, rather. It's got to move over as well. Of course, that's going to get smaller as it turns. It comes back like that. Maybe not that small. That's better. Ooh-ah, there we go. Alright, left to right motion. Pretty well done. We can exaggerate that later if we really have to, but that'll look pretty good for a start. Okay, now for the part that might actually be a little more complex. We have to do vertical motion. We need to select everything we were just working on. Or all the warp deformers, rather. So everything that's already got an angle X keyframe. And we need to assign an angle Y keyframe, or 3 angle Y keyframes to it, rather. Let's just grab all of these. I see Kieran said something there. I'm going to get to it in a second. Gotta keep an eye on the chat. Kieran says, I was going to make a joke about a broken pencil, but it's pointless. That's true. It just... what would be the point, right? Ho 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 ho, Kieran jokes. Angle Y, here we go. So, -30, 0, and 30, representing all the way down, baseline, and all the way up. Depending on where we're looking when the face tracking is tracking our face. Alright, so we want X set at 0 right now. Now we're going to go all the way down. This one should be pretty easy because I think I know what we're going to do here. The fact that we have all of these compartmentalized pouch pieces is actually going to work to our advantage here, because here's what we're going to do. Alright, so we look down. Here's what happens. All of the collar pieces will follow that line slightly. Where's my other collars? Here we go. So they'll come down just ever so slightly. The shoulder pieces, and with it the logo piece, will come down just ever so slightly, but slightly more than the collar piece did. North Space logo will come down a little bit. There we go. And now, here's what we're going to do. How's it going to work? How's it going to work? The pouches are actually going to sort of shift up underneath one another. So let's start with the trim pieces. They're going to wind up somewhere around here. The zipper, we're going to push up in. There we go. Right pouch 3 and left pouch 3. I'm going to move up just a tad. Pouches 2. We're going to come up a bit as well. Not to the side, but nope, not to the side. Up a bit, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then pouches 1, left and right. We're going to shift the least. And now, it's going to look like we're... Okay, no, we're going to have to make a few more changes there. Pouch 2 is actually going to have to shift up considerably. There we go. And pouch 3 up even more. Should have known that's how it was going to work. More like that. And now, we're looking down. Sort of like we're doing an ab crunch almost. See, this is why I feel like a boomer. I'd be so lost if I tried this. You know what? It's not the hardest thing to get a handle on. I've got a little bit of a head start because I used to do a lot of flash animation back in the day. So dealing with illusory sort of faux 3D perspective, moving 2D vector art around is kind of my forte. Well, not really even my forte, but it's something that I've got a little bit of experience with. So looking up, looking down. You know what we need to do? We need to move the words independently. Jacket pouch words 1, jacket pouch words 1. Shift those down a beat, just a beat. And same with words 2. And words 2. And the same with words 3. And words 3. Now let's see how that works. Looks like we kind of lost some of the effect there. Should it be coming up? No, it shouldn't be coming up. It should still be going down, but I think we're not exaggerating enough. Dang, Boomer knows how to use a computer, says Hero King Soul. Man. I don't know what sort of mental image Hero's got of us. Like we're some sort of ancient being. Tell you what we need to do. We need to contract everything even more. Forget these word movements. We need to bring down the shoulders even more. Here's what we got to do. Left shoulder, right shoulder. I want to, yeah, extend. Here we go. Put a little angle on it. Here we go. Try to keep track of what's what here. There we go. That might have been too much. Pull that back just a little bit. Okay, and we want to... I guess we want to sort of tighten everything up along the bottom here. Show me where the trim leads off. We can bring it up to about here. So we're right at the ragged edge of where it can actually go. Oh, check it out, guys. What is this? What's going on here? So and Kigi raiding with a party of 7. Hi, diddly ho. How are you doing? We are raiders. Give us all your money. Oh, what is this? We're getting stuck up? Is this a hold up? Guess what, nerd? I'm not going for it. I'm not having it. You think you can roll into a spaceman space station and start extorting him? Not having it. You dare call me a nerd? Yeah, I calls it like I sees it, nerd. Bunch of dorks rolling up in here, interrupting a perfectly good art stream. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Vector Spaceman Show. We're doing a little work on some live 2D models tonight. Well, a nerd is true, but you see? I've got a sense for this sort of thing. We're putting the finishing touches, or near the finishing touches, on a new live 2D outfit piece that we've been working on for the past couple of weeks. I shouldn't say it's been taking us weeks, but every Wednesday we do an art stream. We've been progressively working on this for a couple hours at a time. Maybe you recognize the design. It's a little Supreme jacket. Our arms are missing at the moment. We kind of left them over here. But once this all comes together, it's going to be looking pretty good. We got left to right. We got left to right rotation, down pat. Just got to work on our vertical movements at the moment. And then we'll be able to synthesize motion. We'll be able to put it all together. Slap our arm pieces on our existing arm pieces. A nice jacket from the North Space. Yes, you notice that? But how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the show. So and Kiki, thanks for the raid. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I hope your week's been alright. We're halfway through. The weekend's ahead of us. It's just over the horizon. So why not kick back, relax, let Spaceman help you cruise on into the back half of the week. Alright, so we were working on motion here. Almost looks like we're doing ab crunches. It's our downward motion. I think I know what we need to do. We need to expand our pouch 1 and pouch 2 portions. Here we go. Or no, you know what? Here's what we gotta do. Do them one at a time because it's actually very hard to keep track of what is what. Here we go. There we go. And right side, where are you? Space! Indeed. Hi, people. I don't know what is going on. I'm just going to call you people, if that's alright. Or do you prefer IDK? Like some sort of Star Wars droid. Either works? Alright. That kind of looks bizarre. That transition. Bleh. Like we're inflating. Alright, don't love that. We may have to exaggerate that a little less. Maybe just from the side. Yeah, that's alright. It is a puffy jacket after all. Right side, pouch 1, where are you? Try to keep everything nice and organized here. But you know, sometimes organization just gets away from you. Yeah, that's a little better. Mostly people call me hi people, but that can get tricky. That's true because it's 2 words. And who's got a name that's got 2 words in it? Especially when you're saying it and not using letters. I comprehend. Alright, that's looking down. We rarely look down all that often anyways. We're not really gonna notice the subtleties of the shift. But you know what? I do kind of feel like the shoulders are a little overkill, so let's just pull that up ever so slightly so that we're not losing all of the text detail there. should be fine. Yoink. There we go. Pretty decent, pretty decent. Oh, people, what are you up to? What are you doing? What's going on here? Our latest and greatest Space Cadet, everybody. And I don't know, people who have popped in from Soul's stream, people who have popped in from So and Kigi's stream, if you've noticed, but we're rocketing toward our monthly follower goal of 140 Space Cadets here on the channel. And with People's Edition, I believe that puts us at 129. So if you like what we're putting down tonight, if you like what we got going on here, then hey, why not join the Space Cadets? You know it don't cost a dime. And you'll always be tuned in when the Vector Spaceman show goes live. And of course, as I was stating earlier on in the show, and of course, those of you showing up, you would have missed it. Already that much in the first 2 days, Martin. Well, we didn't get 129 within the first 2 days. That's the total that we're sitting at. Out of 140, which is what we're aiming towards. Vector streams are the best. Aw, thanks, Kieran. Oh, and Historia Gaming. We haven't seen you in a hot minute. Hello, everyone. Hello, Historia. How are you doing? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Welcome to the art stream. We're working on a little live 2D outfit assets. But what was I talking about? Oh, yes. Let's head back to the station here for a second. Saturday, March 19th, everybody, at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be celebrating our 100th episode here on the Vector Spaceman Show. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff planned, so don't forget to tune in. Save the date, mark it on your calendars. It's going to be a fun time. I'm good, haven't really been watching streams recently. Well, that's understandable. People have got priorities in their life. You know, sometimes you got to step away from the computer. You got to find something else to do. Or you got to find something else to do on the computer. That's understandable as well. We won't hold it against you, Historia, but welcome back. You know you're always welcome here. 100 episodes indeed. March marks the 5th month of streaming here on the channel. It's been a wild ride. We've learned a lot about independent broadcasting. Made a lot of good friends. Had a lot of great streams, had a great time all together. Alright, let's rock this, you guys. Let's pop this out. Let's get this done. We gotta work on vertical animation here. Give me the collar pieces. These are gonna come up ever so slightly. Same goes for the shoulder pieces. Right shoulder, left shoulder. And they're actually going to contract in a bit. Just like this. Because that is the way shoulders rotate in perspective. Here we go. Perfect. Whoops. Okay. Now, what else happens here? North Space logo has to come up. And we'll tighten it up a bit. Just like that. Maybe a little overkill. There we go. There we go. It's crazy. You've grown quite a lot, too. Hey, Lou. How you doing? You guys, you know, I was just watching Lou earlier in the day. Lou was having a little karaoke stream. Which is something that we should be planning to do on our 100th episode coming up on March 19th. At 8 p.m. Eastern here on the show. Mark the date, everybody. Check your calendars. You know what? We really have grown quite a bit. Doing a bit better tonight, that's good to hear. That's great to hear. Hey, Ellie, welcome back. I didn't see that said North Space. Yep. We can't just outright copy a brand name. Come on. We got a little more sense than that. Dang, I'm gonna miss it. Aw, that's too bad, Soen. That's too bad, Soen Kigi. We may have some of it up for replay after the fact. It's always sort of hit or miss anytime we do karaoke stuff, whether or not we can post it afterwards. But we should have a lot of other cool content on the stream that we can post. It shall be a momentous night, that's for sure. People asks, anyone else here from the maple syrup land of Canada? So there's so many people from Canada. Like a surprising amount of people from Canada that tune into our streams. There's the whole Nova Swarm. There's Monayu the sea turtle. There's Comrade Goose. There's Haster Gold. Like an unusual amount of Canadians up in here. Oh, 2/3 of the Nova Swarm? Oh, I thought it was all of y'all. Never mind. Kieran says I am from the superior American syrup land. Listen. I'm all for USA, Kieran, but I think they got us beat. When it comes to maple syrup. Oh, Lyra's in the US. Okay, so it's just you and Regal. Speaking of Regal, I'm pretty sure we're going to be putting together another Friday night firefight event with Regal and myself and Dragon Durant. Next week, next Friday, going to be playing some more Halos, having a good time. Alright, what are we still missing here? We gotta bring everything up. Okay, so all the pouch pieces have got to come up and rotate ever so slightly. Pouch 1. Pouch 1. Shifting up. Okay, and there we go. And just dragging it in. Just a wee little bit. Just a wee little bit. Toy. Yes, very good, very good. Alright, and pouch 2 is going to be a little less pronounced. But we still drag it up. We drag it in. What is this argument overall? Canada is fake. You're fake. Ooh, Historia says, I'm excited for tomorrow. One of the games I play a lot is getting another update. Foxhole. I don't think I've ever heard of Foxhole. That sounds like a military simulator or something like that. Is that right? I think the downward motion is a little overkill still, but that's all right. Pouch 3, here we go. So we'll have just ever so slight. So you can sort of see some orange poking through. We don't want that. There we go. And where's the trim at? Right trim, left trim. Drag that up just a little bit. Just a little bit. And the zipper. Where's my zipper at? Okie doke. Come down, we go up. Yeah, that shoulder. Those shoulder pieces are coming down way too far. Let's fix that up real quick so it's not bugging me in the future. I think there's going to be a couple of fixes that we're going to have to go back to at some point to clean up. So we'll try to minimize the amount of work that we got to do. There we go. There we go. Not far off, huh? So it plays like an MMO sandbox. Ooh, used to play a lot of MMOs. Where players control every aspect of a persistent war. Okay, hold on, maybe I have heard of this. From fighting on the front to working in the back line to making weapons, ammos, and spawns for the players fighting. Right. And like some players have to like drive up like supply trucks. Oh yeah, then having players drive it to the front to be used. Yes, okay, so I've definitely seen, if I don't know exactly what this is, then I've seen something very close to what you're describing. And it does sound pretty rad. Okay, you guys, okay. That's not bad. And left and right is working. Let's zero everything out here. Let's attach the arms. Or, you know what? First thing we should do is select all of these groups. Logo, collar, shoulders, pouches, words. Trim pieces, not that one. Aft, shoulder, pouches, words, pouches, words, pouches, words. Trim piece and zipper. I think that's everything. We will synthesize corners for selected objects. Bam. And now, yes, we have nice fluid approximated motion for our corners. Excellent, you guys, excellent. We got a functioning chess piece. Let's reset that. Kieran says, I have a feeling too many people would be fighting instead of just being the support. I don't know, there's some people who enjoy playing support. I tend to be one of those guys. Wishlist go brrr. An indie dev team as well. Don't you love to see that? Like, it seems like all of the games that are really pushing cool concepts are all indie devs. Kieran's a support man as well. Nice, nice. Yeah, you know what? I seem to recall when we were watching you play like Overwatch and stuff like that, you were always playing like Torbjorn. Different support classes. And there are dedicated clans for logistics. I love that. You know what I really liked? I started playing, what is it called? Elite Dangerous. On stream last month, I think it was. And I love that there were in-game groups of people just dedicated to helping out other pilots, like fuel rats and hull seals, like dudes who will show up, fly out light years to stranded players and give them gas and hull repair and stuff like that. Lucio main. Nice, nice. Lucio I always thought was a little too complex. I mean, it's not really that crazy when you think about it. It's just a few... You know, you got your speed boost, you got your health boost. I really like playing as Moira. Back when I still played the Overwatch, I thought that was a really cool way to heal and steal. You know, the good old... the old heal and steal. Alright, you guys, we got to lay down some arms here. So I want to take these, and what I want to do is basically stick them inside the existing layers for our arm pieces so that they basically copy the existing animation so that I don't have to worry about it too much. Moira's gameplay felt pretty different for FPS games, like pretty original. Well, I thought it felt very similar to early Symmetra, which I also really liked. It had that sort of lock-on mechanic. Moira's wasn't quite so pronounced. And also the balls that you could send bouncing around to heal and steal. That was great too. Playing a medic in Foxhole is fun, as you can carry players that are bleeding out and revive them somewhere safer. That does sound fun. Alright, we gotta find where our arm pieces are stored. Nope, that's our jersey piece. Deformers. Oh, it's going to be buried somewhere stupid, isn't it? Let's see. Hands. Inner arm. Here we go. Inner hands. Why does it keep knocking me all the way to the bottom? Oh, because I have it selected. That's why. That's popcorn. Inner. Okay, here we go. Shadow for the arms. Oh, the inner hands. Right, not the inner hands. We don't want that. Those are the inverse for like when we're holding the tablet and stuff. That's not what we want. I really should have gotten into a better habit of organizing this hierarchy earlier on. Like, what is deformer of big? This is scarf pieces or something. Pocket, shirts. Okay, lower. Lower and upper. These are the arm pieces. Yes. Arm left. Arm left, upper base. Okay, that is what we want. Okay, so the arm left is what has the motion. So we just need jacket. We need to give this its own warp deformer. We're going to call this jacket left arm upper. We're going to do the same thing for all of these pieces. Left arm lower. And we need to give them warp deformers because we want to be able to apply an opacity keyframe to it. Jacket right arm upper. And finally, of course, if you couldn't guess, jacket right arm. Where are we? Arm lower. Okay, now we're going to drag and drop these where they belong, which is right up in here. We're going to put left arm upper. Within this group on top of... Yeah, right on top of everything else. It's this opacity layer. Has keyframes for stuff like tablet and popcorn and things like that, but we want ours to sit on top. Oh, darn it, and we're gonna have to change the draw order on this again. Always messing us up here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Alright, so it's going to be right about here. And now, let me guess, when we go to move, yes, it's already it copies that motion from the existing arm underneath. We don't even have to worry about it. Okay, so let's do the exact same thing. With the other side here. The right arm. Are we learning something here tonight, Space Cadets? Absolutely. Should be somewhere right about here. Testing, testing. Perfect. Kieran's just lost. That's too bad. Maybe I should try to do a more concise tutorial or something like that. I know there's a lot of people who watch the show who are interested in learning live 2D, but get lost with all of our bad organization habits and stuff here. I'm just assuming what you're doing is correct. Oh, that might be a bad assumption to make. I'm not sure. Alright, we need to find the lower arm piece. There we go. Left lower. Ooh, but here we go. This might become an issue then. The way that this is set up... Well, let's see if it works. Gonna move this into position here. Plant you right on top here. That should give us proper animation. Yes, we're all good here. Oh, hold on. What are we missing? Oh, no, we're not getting that animation. We've got it on the wrong layer, probably. Because this is what controls the animation. So we want to make that a child of this. Now it's working. Problem solved, you guys. No worries. I think we might actually lower that a little bit. No, we're not gonna. There, just like that. Perfect, perfect. Or semi-perfect. This one might raise up a bit to compensate. Thank you. There we go. Now show me that. Definitely the way that we had it set up underneath for the base model is a little different. That's alright, we'll deal. We'll deal. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Last thing to do, now here's what I was wondering. If, because this part here, the left side lower arm, is it going to disappear when we start turning on something like the gamepad? It should. Yes, it does. So we are eventually going to have to set up a reverse side so we can make use of stuff like the gamepad or the tablet, stuff like that. Darkwing, how are you doing? Vector, great to hear your voice this fine morning. It's your morning with Vector Spaceman. Thanks for tuning in. Weather seems fine today. No matter where you are in the world, as long as you got a good attitude about it, and I know our man Darkwing the Invader does. Thanks for tuning in all the way from over near Dubai, I believe is what you were saying last time we were talking. So it would just be morning time for you, wouldn't it? You're catching what I'm hoping is the tail end of our, how you say, art stream here, working on a little live 2D assets tonight. We're just about done placing all of our assets here. And then we should be able to get it live and working before we cap things off here. We're just under 3 hours of a show. Hoping we can get everything done here. Alright, where is the other piece that I'm looking for? Arms left, arms right. It's under lower. Where's my other lower section? What am I missing? Lower, here we go. That's where we want to put it. Okay, this piece here. Jacket, right arm, lower is going to go right up in here. Then we're going to make it a child of this piece here. Cover that up, and if all goes according to plan, then it should inherit the animation from that piece without having to worry about anything. And yes, it does. Look at that. Perfect. We got motion here. tracking motion. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. People, you weren't our 129th follower. You were our 130th Space Cadet. Lucky number 13 times 10. The stream so far is doing pretty well, Darkwing. We've made a couple new Space Cadet friends today. Nice indeed. All thanks to Soen Kigi and Hero King Soul, with some timely raids and shoutouts. And you know, here's another fun thing. Darkwing, I don't know if you were aware, you might have missed the last couple of streams, is that we're counting down the days to our 100th episode. That's going to be Saturday, March 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have some special content on here. I'm thinking some special guests. Might do some karaoke stuff, some tier lists, some games, some fun times. Maybe even some super special content. All to do with the future of the channel here. Congratulations, nerd. Thanks, Zero. Yeah, that's going to be a fun night. Oh, look at this, guys. People's been following us for 25 minutes and 51 seconds. Wow. Talk about numbers. I didn't even know you could do that, that command here, Kieran. But Kieran's been following us for 3 months and 2 days and 1 hour. Wow, now everybody's getting in on it. Historia, 27 days. Ooh, almost a full month. Very fine, very fine. Ellie of the Nova Swarm, 3 months, 2 days, 2 hours. Oh! Oh, you beat Kieran by an hour! Wow. Talk about a photo finish right there, right? Wars be like, yeah. Starting some wars in the chat here. Alright, you guys. I think all that's left to do now to get this thing working proper is to finally assign that opacity transformer. So here's what we want to do. We want to select everything that constitutes the jacket chest. And we want to give it keyframes at 0 and 1. And at the 0 keyframe, we want to set that to 0 opacity. And at 100, it's going to be set at 1. So every time we flick on the jacket parameter, it'll pop up. We got to do the same thing with those arm pieces. Where are they at? There we go. Upper arm, lower arm, upper arm, lower arm. Assign keyframes. Real easy stuff when you think about it. Opacity 0. There we go. Base model, jacket model. Easy as that. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? Want to become famous? Oh, guys, hold on. We can be famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers at yourfollows.com. Wow. Who knew it was that easy? All right, let's see here. We'll do a little housekeeping. There's one. And where's the other one? Purplish. There we go. You know, I always say, guys, you gotta look on the bright side. If you got bots, that means you're doing well. That means they think you got the potential. That means they think you've got an audience. Weird, this is the second channel I've seen have 2 of those bots at the same time. They're traveling in pairs now. They're hunting in packs. It's the buddy system, you guys. Clever girl. They're multiplying, yes. Alright, we've got everything set up as far as we're going to get it tonight. So here comes the next part. Check this out. What do we got to do here? What do we got to do here? We're going to turn off the screen for a second. Bear with me here. Now we're we're going to load up Live 2D Viewer. Why do we do this? Because it's sort of a roundabout way of setting up what are called expressions, which are important. All right, here we go. Let's open up. Not you. There we go. Turn it back on, turn it back on. Bam, here we go. So this is the Live 2D Viewer, which allows us to control our little spaceman. But it also allows us to create expressions. We're going to call this expression jacket. And expressions control parameter states. So we want this expression to control the jacket. Hold on. Oh, darn it. Dagnabbit. All right, let me try that again. Bear with me here. I pressed open recent instead of actually navigating to the one we wanted to open, so I think that's why. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Am I using the default Windows wallpaper? Yes. Yes, yes, I am. But there's a reason for that, all right? There's a reason for that. Nerd. All right, let me explain. Is that we have a separate, like, profile on the computer here that I use exclusively for when I'm streaming, so that I don't accidentally show off any folders or something with names on it or anything like that. That's the reason. So I've just never set it up to be super fancy or anything. You can still give it some personality. Yeah, but you rarely ever see it. That's so I never really thought to do it. But Ellie's right. You know, you got to take these things seriously. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a new expression. Take 2. Jacket. Now that should have it, right? Sure. Hold on. Where the heck is it? Oh, I know what it is. We didn't export it. I keep forgetting. You can't just save it. You got to actually export it proper. All right, so let me pull up the editor. Here we go. Make sure everything is saved. Now let us export for runtime. That's what we got to do. All right, hold on a sec. All right, let me choose a destination here. Yes, we want to overwrite. Thank you. Just set it to some space background with your character floating around. That'd probably be a good idea. Or just a blank harbor station or something like that. Saving, 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 saving. Saving, come on. Okay, now we should be good. Now we can open up the viewer. We can open our Spaceman production model. Now let's add an expression. 3rd time's the charm, you guys. And jacket, jacket. There we go. Bam. Set jacket to 1. So now anytime that we turn on this expression, it's going to turn our jacket on. Now we want to export. Expression motion. Oh no, that's not right. We want to export a pose. I don't know why they call it that. No, we don't want to do that. We want to export model settings. Save that. Yes, we want to overwrite. And we want to save the jacket file. That's what we want to do. Yes, thank you. Okay, we got our jacket. I'm gonna move that off screen here into my expressions folder. now... we want to copy all this stuff. Okay, now you guys get to see a little behind the scenes here. Because we got to open up Live 2, or not Live 2D, but VTube Studio. I've always wanted to ask this: when you are normally using your computer without streaming, do you talk to yourself? No, I do not talk to myself when I'm not streaming. But you know what? I'm thinking about this now. Do I like talk to myself more internally? More than I used to before I started streaming? I don't know. Because it's like people's here saying, because it's like you kind of have to talk to yourself / camera when you are on stream. Yeah. No, there's a lot of that. But listen, Spaceman's pretty good at rambling. I think that's a big part of it. If you can talk about just about anything at length, then you're gonna have a fine time streaming. Like, don't you think at least someone would talk to themselves? Like, get used to it after streaming for a long time? Yeah, I think so. I think so. But, you know, sometimes I'd be on the computer, not streaming. There might be other people around. It'd be a little strange if you're just sitting there talking to yourself. But you know what? When I am all alone, yeah, sometimes I do. Not as much as when I'm streaming, certainly. But there are times that I do. Now that I'm thinking about it, you got me thinking about this now, people. Kieran says, Vector, do you ever ask yourself, what would Kieran do in this situation? No, I never have to ask that, Kieran, because I know what Kieran would do in that situation. He'd bust a dumb joke. I'd laugh. We'd have a grand old time. I'll talk to myself in like if I'm down Earth side and I ever have to drive somewhere, I'd be talking to myself. I'd be talking to the radio. I'd be singing along with stuff. But that's when I'm like super enclosed. It's just me. So yeah, here and there, it happens. Or new streamers would just not talk at all because they aren't used to talking to people without someone physically. That's a big issue for some people, yeah. I think what you gotta know is that, you know, dead air is a dead stream. You know, you gotta approach it like a radio broadcast, essentially. Historia says, luckily I can compensate with panic. Well, you know what? Yeah, just make some noise. Sputter a bit. Keep people engaged. You know, as long as it's not just silence. People start asking themselves, why do I even have this tab open still? Especially if it's a topic that I'm really into, I'll literally just have a full discussion with myself. That can be fun. Yeah, and I've found myself, if I'm writing something, sometimes you gotta sort of suss it out with yourself. Have a little internal dialogue. Figure things out. Okay, you guys, let's get this sorted. Let's get this done. We're 3 hours into the stream here. We're gonna open up VTube Studio, and in order to do that, I'm gonna have to take my little Spaceman offline here, because you're gonna see what's going on behind the scenes. Bam, it's us. Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the void. So here's what we're gonna do. We are going to... what do we do here? Settings? Oh, it's a face capture, you guys. This is what we look like. Behind the scenes. Just a wireframe Vector Man. We want to... choose our... Where is it? Where the heck is it? Here it is. We want to unload our model. Thank you. It's a really uncanny valley, right? Now we want to import our own model. Okay, it's going to give me a folder to open up. I want to go there. And now I'm going to paste all of the stuff we were just working on into our production model folder, so we can update it. So give me just a second to work on that. Bam, and yes, we want to replace files in the destination. And then we are going to open up our expressions folder. And we're going to copy in the jacket expression that we just worked on. That goes in there. All right, and with that all done, we should be able to load it up again. Ellie says, I see you also put your model to the right to avoid the watermark. Yes, we're not going to drop, what, $10 or $15 just to get rid of that floating little, whatever that is. Oh, thank you so much, Darkwing. 50 little bits here. Goodness gracious. What a generous Darkwing. Oh, Darkwing says, gotta head into work. I appreciate the wake up. Take it easy. I hope you had a great I hope you have a great day, Darkwing. Thanks for dropping by. I hope we get to see you again real soon. The watermark is kind of cool. But yeah, it's gonna look weird on our screen, so that's why we key it out. Everybody say bye to Darkwing. Thanks for dropping by. Alright, now we should be able to load up the Spaceman again. Oh, we're way off base here. We need to be over here somewhere. This is how I usually set it up. I hit up the station screen and sort of scale myself to it like this. That's about right. There we go. All right, now where were we? Where was we? We have to set up a new expression. So let us add one to our long list here. A new hotkey, we're going to call this jacket. Our hotkey action is going to be setting or unsetting an expression. Our key combination is going to be control, let's say 2 on the numpad. I don't think we've used that before for anything, have we? We've used 4, we've used 6, we've used 5. We're running out of keys here. And the expression that we're going to use is jacket, which we just put in. So now, moment of truth, you guys. Bam, look at this. Look at this, look at that. We got ourselves a pretty fly-looking jacket, you guys. Alrighty. Let's head on back to what we were looking at before. To the live 2D, and we'll bring up our player model again. There we go. There we are. Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, we'll just alter our height here a little bit. There we go. That's it, you guys. You know what? Let's head on over to the station view here. This turned out pretty good. All right, let me just move around a bit, see if we're noticing any issues. See, the real problem is going to be, and thanks for that air horn there, Ellie. The real issue is going to be when we start combining it with our other expressions, like the gamer hands, the tablet hands, because if I press tablet right now, I'm 100% positive that it's going to turn our forearms into orange arms, right? Yep, there we are, because we didn't add inverse arms, inner arms. So right now we've just got the one pose, but we'll continue to work on this in the future. I should take a screenshot. Hold on, guys, hold on. Oh, people's heading out, gotta head to bed. Yeah, me too. We're gonna close this out pretty soon. But thanks for showing up here, people. Our latest and greatest Space Cadet. Everybody say goodbye to people. Say goodbye to IDK. Who needs sleep? Amazing, right, Lou? All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shut down the follower goals. We're gonna shut down the overlay here. We're gonna shut down the chat nest for a second, and we're gonna move ourselves into the center here. Or, nope, that's not right. We are going to move the actual player controller into the center here. There we go. Make ourselves a little bigger. And we're gonna put on our angry eyes. Yeah. Vector Spaceman. Looking legit. Looking tough. Welcome to Harbor Station. Take some screenshots. So that I can use this. Welcome to Pain Town. Yes, that's right, Kieran. Spaceman ready to take your lunch money. Yeah, that's right, nerd. You came to the wrong space station. Empty them pockets. This would legit be good for a rap album cover, though. That's what I'm gonna, yeah. We'll put a little, listener discretion advised. Black bar in the corner there. All right, I got a couple good screenshots. We're gonna make good use of that. All right, take off the angry eyes, because we're far too pleasant for that. All right, and move me back to where I was. Hold on, bap. There we go. And let's put everything back on here. Chat, so everybody can see what's going on here. Turn the overlay back on. Turn the follower goals back on. What else are we missing? I think that's everything. You gonna do matching pants also? Probably not. I think we'll switch up art streams from Live 2D for a little bit. Might spend some more time doing doodles and request sketches, stuff like that. At least for next week. I think I'll still make a few tweaks to this outfit off stream. Change some of the outlines here. Make sure I've got some inner arms so I can do stuff like gamer hands and microphone and stuff like that with the jacket on. Oh, especially that. You know what? We're gonna have to get that done because I wanted to wear this outfit for our 100th stream, guys. Don't forget, Saturday, March 19th. Don't forget to tune in, 8 p.m. Gonna be a fun time. Kieran, oh, I do have a few requests I'm waiting to redeem. And we gotta have the mic, right? If we're gonna launch a Spaceman rap album. Oh. But guys, that's gonna be for a later stream. We've done a lot tonight. We got a lot done. I'm pretty proud of ourselves. I think you all should be too. Keeping Spaceman going this long. Oh, we're going to be off for a couple days, guys. Our next stream is going to be on Friday, and it's not even going to be our stream. We're actually going to be joining up with the Hero King Soul to play some Among Us. He's still celebrating the fact that he just got affiliate status. So he's having a bunch of people on to play Among Us with him. So we're going to be over on his channel. We're not going to be streaming here, but you can find us over on his channel. That's Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And after that, we'll be back on Sunday for, what are we doing? Some more arcade games this week. We're going to play a little more Grapple Dog, I believe. Game we started the other week. Go back to that one. We got a lot of arcade games that we start and we don't finish. So we got to go back to some of the old classics. Finish them up, you know? That's probably what we'll be working on the next couple of weeks leading up to the 100th episode show. We're going to be having fewer and fewer streams per week leading up to that, so as we work on getting things ready for the big show. So lots to look forward to, you guys. But my voice is just about kicking out on me. I'm ready to get to bed. I'm going to let all of you go as well. So let me just take a quick little gander here. Oh, geez. There we go. See who else is streaming tonight, because maybe we can send you off to check out somebody else's show. You know we love to spread the love here on the Vector Spaceman show. Oh, absolutely. All right, it's happening then. I think I know exactly where we're going. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You guys are gonna like this. If you enjoy fun, then you're gonna enjoy this. All right. So let's do our sign off real quick then, everybody, because we're gonna close out the show right here. As you know, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, wherever and whenever you are. Now you can join us, as I said, on Sunday. We'll be back on the show for our weekend schedule. That's 2 p.m. Eastern right here at Harbor Station. In the meantime, you can find us over on Hero King Soul's channel this Friday. But we'll catch you on the other side, Space Cadets. Until then, of course, no matter what life throws your way, good luck and Godspeed. This is Vector Spaceman signing off. Have a great night, everybody. And stick around for that raid, because we're about to send you off for some more great content for your evening. Take care, everybody.